So, yeah, this just keeps happening. And the NBA is... It's a sad day for the NBA. It's an absolutely sad day for the NBA. And this one's on video, so he's done. Like, he's absolutely done. There's no chance Jackson Hayes plays another NBA game. He's done. But actually, you know what? I said the same thing about Kevin Porter Jr. Not Kevin Porter Jr. About Miles Bridges when he violated his court order with all the pictures of Miles Bridges, and then he violated his court order to throw snooker balls at a car with his kids inside the car. Like, I thought he was done then. Obviously, doesn't matter. If you're good enough for the sport, you're above the law. That's what the NBA it seems to be. Kevin Porter Jr. is playing in the NBA. Kevin Porter Jr. should not have been allowed back to play in the NBA. He just shouldn't. He did not even have a full season out. Or maybe it was a season. One season. Like, you can do what these players have done. And obviously, if you've clicked on this video, you know what I'm talking about. I'm not showing the footage. It is disturbing. And everybody knows what Miles Bridges has done. Everybody knows what Kevin Porter Jr. has done. Jackson Hayes did the same thing, but on video. The NBA has a serious DV problem. And the reality of the situation is they're not going to do anything about it. They're not. We know they're not. They've set the precedent that they're not going to do anything about it. Like, when an NBA player is going through any sort of, like, anything mental is happening with an NBA player, like what we saw last year with Kai Jones, when we saw him on his IG lives clearly losing his mind, or, like, that's probably not the way to say it, but clearly going through something. The first thing that the team does is cut them. Like, he's not in a right frame of mind. He's going through stuff, and he's there talking about how he, like, basically, like, calling out his teammates, and then you're seeing the teammates calling him out for that stuff, but it's like, no one will say anything. They'll welcome back Miles Bridges with open arms. They'll welcome back Kevin Porter Jr. with open arms. If Jackson Hayes was better at basketball, they would welcome him back with open arms. The reality of the situation is the only reason anything's going to happen to Jackson Hayes is he's not good enough. And that's just the truth. He is not good enough for this to be overlooked. And yeah, the video is there. And we've seen it with Mason Greenwood in football as well. Mason Greenwood's back playing for Marseille. I think, is it Marseille he's playing with now? Wherever he's playing, I don't care about it. But the fact that the NBA supposedly they didn't have the footage, but they investigated this in 2021 and said it was fine. All was good. And obviously video footage changes everything. But this is a problem that's continually happening in the NBA. Time after time after time after time after time. And there is, like, there's proof for some of these things. Like, Miles Bridges played no contest. Miles Bridges literally played no contest. Like, there's no ifs, ands, two sides. Miles Bridges did it. Like, and now we're seeing, obviously Jackson Hayes with video footage, he's going to get away with, or he's not going to get away with it. But I'm telling you, if Jackson Hayes was an all-star, this would have been brushed under the rug, even with the video. He would just take a year out, lose a little bit of money, and then he'll come back. Josh Primo got back into the NBA. Josh Primo played again. Josh Primo had a problem. Josh Primo. Like, all I'm saying is that the nickname The Flash is gone from Dwayne Wade. It's Josh Primo to describe what Josh Primo did. Josh Primo is just completely sick individual. Like, and continually did what he did. And he got back. Like, the NBA has a huge problem with this, and they're not doing themselves any favors with the fact that the NBA supposedly in 2021 investigated Jackson Hayes and found no wrongdoing. And look, not everything is gonna be is gonna be covered. They're not gonna be able to dot their I's, cross their T's on everything, especially with something this serious. But like, surely they're like, the video got leaked, whatever, 3 years later. Now they're reopening an investigation. Like, it's hard to find no wrongdoing. It's hard to find absolutely no wrongdoing when it comes to some of these players. And for NBA players, and this is the problem when it comes to a lot of these players, and you can see it in football, you can see it in all walks of life. When you have been a star from the time you are 14 years old, you're being pushed, you're basically being told you are better than everybody else. And it's a big problem in society with the rich of the rich as well. When you are being told from the time you're a kid, you are better than everybody else, you can do no wrong, you are whatever, like, you are the pinnacle of everything. Everything is around you. And you've never been told no your entire life. You've seen how continually these people react. And it's becoming a worse and worse problem in sports, because now players are getting more money and are getting more stature from a younger age. And they are developing, like, and again, it is a small minority, but it's becoming a lot more common. And the NBA needs to do something about it, because they showed with Kevin Porter Jr. and with Miles Bridges that if you are good enough, it doesn't matter what you do. As long as you are not in jail, if you are good enough, we will welcome you back. And that is the precedent the NBA have set. And it is the fact now, this is the first time something's fully been on video. I'm telling you, it's a problem that the NBA could have stopped. It's a problem that the NBA could have taken a hard stance on with the Miles Bridges situation, with other situations, maybe that I don't know off the top of my head. But they could have taken a hard stance. They have now set the precedent that all's good if you're good enough at the sport, which is sad. Which is sad, because we've seen so many players, for whatever reasons, for mental health reasons, for like other reasons, be tossed aside by their teams like they're nothing. But if you're good enough at basketball, you can do what Jackson Hayes did. You can do what Kevin Porter Jr. did. You can do what Miles Bridges did, and be fine. And be fine. Yeah, you might lose a little bit of money, but like, realistically, the whole thing about certain people being above the law, the NBA have just shown, realistically, there are some players that are. And by the way, Jackson Hayes is probably never going to play in the NBA again. He got 0 punishment 3 years ago. They obviously saw the footage. The footage is out. He will never play in the NBA again. He's not good enough. If Jackson Hayes was an all-star, we'd be having a different story. He will never play. I'm saying this confidently right now. He will never play another NBA game. But at the same time, it doesn't make any of this situation right. And the NBA have backed themselves into a corner. And this is something, in 3 times in the last 3 years we've seen this stuff. And for the first 2 occasions, the players have already been back. And while it's something, not the exact same thing, Josh Primo came back as well. So if a player is good enough, if a player is talented enough, the NBA have shown they're basically above the law, which is a sad thing for the league. Because at the end of the day, yeah, athletes are athletes, but you probably should have to be at least not pieces of shit human beings to be able to access the be able to be in the position they're in, I guess. I don't know.